What's up, everyone? Good morning to you. Hey, Paul, Bill, Roberta, J. Pablo, what is good, my friend? Well, this gap is filled on the S&P. We made a new high yesterday. And Team Bull continues to charge ahead. Yeah, checking out the action, it does look like we are currently in an uptrend. So this channel is pretty easily identifiable here, starting at the bottom wick, going to the body of the first swing. We had our first break of the channel right here, and we have not yet had a new high. So we would expect the market to make an attempt higher. Yeah, probably not going to play it because we're like just a couple minutes away from the bell. But if you're feeling a little bit more adventurous, you could look for a long here. Good morning, Tom. Hey, Anna. Besides that level, is there anything else that we can look to? It does look like yes. Here, perhaps. Oh yeah, that's right overhead. And then above that, what do we got? Right here. Good morning, Julian. All right, so we got a couple levels right overhead on the S&P. And I kind of feel like we're going to go up, so I'm going to mark out even some more overhead levels. We may get to testing them. And that's the all-time high right there. Cool, so we got a couple levels right here, and then the all-time high above. What's up, Squid? Good to see you. Let's go, Archer. Come on. Hoping we'll cross our fingers. We'll do a little dance for some good price action today. You know, if this bar turns around super bullish, closing above the moving average, I may consider taking it. I know I said I wouldn't go long because of the open, but that would be pretty dang tempting. There's the opening bell. so far below the 21, so we're not going to have to worry about contemplating whether to take the setup or not. Here is NQ, which did not get to its gap, did not get to that key level. So it has been substantially weaker than the S&P. Over the last week or two. Marking out the levels to the downside, and then we already know what we got to the upside. I want to see if there's anything in that gap. Have we even, no, we haven't even got into it. And as I've always said, a market rally without the tech sector participating is pretty suspect. So anytime the Nasdaq is weak, should send a signal to you. Watch for a move down. We're getting that now. Let's actually mark this out here. Nice little move down. We could consider a short. On the economic calendar today, we don't really have anything. Shutdown continues. There's like some news out of Australia or something, but otherwise, got nothing. So there's not a known catalyst that could move the market today. Of course, can always get the random news event or something, but that will have to be more out of the blue, something that pops up on the news feed rather than something we're planning for and being aware of. Paul asking about the Bank of Canada. No, that is not likely to do anything to the market. Talking Feds. Okay, I didn't see that. It may be something, but unless they're solidifying a policy change for December, that would be the only thing they could really say, I think, that would be of interest to the market. Little move down on Nasdaq. Still could be in play. The S&P has had a break of its little channel. Maybe if we're going from the top, it's still in play. But that's... I don't really like that. I think more likely we have this narrow channel that's already had a break. Looks like it fits price action a little bit better. So if we get back to the 21, I could consider a short on the S&P. So pullback launching above the 21 EMA here, and notice the weakness in the Nasdaq. It has not really had a pop at all, so should really be aware of what's going on there. And since the markets there's a little bit of a divergence going on, it does give us some caution for even taking a position. We have much more high chance of success if the markets are moving in lockstep. Another close above the EMA for ES, while the Nasdaq huddles right around its low. Divergence continues. Anoli, good morning. Kind of hard to map out the action here on ES. Pretty choppy. And again, with no real catalysts on the horizon, it may be kind of a slow, choppy day. And we will start getting into just a lead up to the Fed meeting. But this is a seasonally bullish time of year, so most likely we will just kind of drift higher into year's end. Looks like NQ may be having the first break of its little channel. And so I would consider a short on NQ. Again, though, very suspect of the divergence happening. Pete, good morning. And it looks like NQ already dropping off to a new low. So that downtrend on NQ may already be done. Unless this continues right here. Something along these lines could still be in play. Over on ES, we are dipping below the 21. If we get a lower high, might consider taking that. NQ continuing to drop down. ES, not really so much. And we're even starting to get kind of a wedge going here. Rising lows, dropping highs. No good. No good. You definitely don't. That's not a pattern you want to be trying to trade. NQ putting in a bullish bar after the downtrend likely played out. See if we get a pop, which is what we would expect. Just drawing this wedge on there to get a visual of when this thing is challenging it. Man, what an ugly pattern. Whoa, that looks newsy. That definitely looks newsy. Coming down to the key level, we're at yesterday's high on S&P. And the Nasdaq continues to drop. On the news ticker, I'm seeing that some news out of India. The blast in Delhi is being called a terrorist incident, so the market may be reacting to that. I don't think that's likely going to be a sustained move, so we could see a bounce back here. This wider channel on NQ fits really well, so I'm gonna be looking for a short on the Nasdaq when we get a pullback. If the S&P continues to go down, we might get some sort of wider pattern like so. And this latest drop down may be its own trend. Kind of looking at something like that, especially if it stays underneath previous day's low. Again, our better opportunity will come on NQ. If we can get a pullback and have the EMA hold. And I may just sell once we get any sort of pullback on the test strategy. Okay, as long as this bounce isn't too high and strong, I will probably be selling on NQ. Watching ES though, it is now going back and testing that key level. Okay, I think I'm going to throw on a contract here. Going to give it some space. May have a deeper pullback, and that's fine. I'm just watching ES very carefully to see if it starts to like really look bullish, then I'll get out of here. But so far, it's a break and retest of that key level that it just dropped through. ES is making a second attempt at this key level here. If it rejects with the bearish bar, I'm going to be taking a short. Ooh, didn't quite touch it there, unfortunately. But otherwise, we have everything we need. We got one leg of a pullback, one attempt lower. Here's the second leg of the pullback. We just need to see rejection right here. Looking for a bearish bar, looking for rejection. We can short. And we're touching now. So if this reverses, I didn't, never mind. This bar could though. We'll see if sellers can push it down. Just looking for one good bar where I can get in on this. Might have to wait for a lower high. Probably going to add to NQ here pretty soon. See if we can sustain this push. Nice. Yeah, we'll add here. Very likely to reach that new low. Still watching ES for a possible entry. I'll start trailing my stop once we get that new low. There it is. Come on, drop, 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 drop. Drop NQ, drop NQ, no. Probably going to drop more, but that is my rules of engagement. Once it gets to that new low, I start trailing. So I'm still anticipating that it might drop more, but ES has already had a new low, so unfortunately can't take anything there. So I'll have to pause the shorts on ES. This downtrend we had mapped out had a break, and then right here we had a new low. So technically speaking, this is played out. We may get a bullish correction. NQ kind of looking heavy. Looks like it may want to make another leg to a new low. But of course, we still have to pause because the trend played out, right? Had a break, had a new low. We could be riding a short, but definitely not entering a new one. ES is still hovering right around yesterday's high. Yeah, ES still looking like it wants to correct to the bullish side. Price action works, guys. I'm telling you. You keep track of these channels, you'll have a very good idea when the market is going to start reversing. Where a lot of traders are going to be surprised, like, wow, why is it going up right now? What the heck? I thought we were in a downtrend. If you're keeping track of your trends, you're keeping track of your channels, you're marking where it has a break, where it has a new extreme, will keep you on the right side of the market. Notice where NQ is now. Got short in here, added to it on confirmation, and then right when it made that new low, I said get out. And look at that. That's exactly why. Right on schedule. And unfortunately, this correction back above that key level, back into the range of this morning, gives us a good idea that today is not likely to be a trend day. So we are not likely to have one big move in either direction. Of course, could it happen? Yes, but the likeliness of that happening just went significantly down. Oof, that's a red candle. Coming back to that key level here. If we break below and hold below, yeah, we'll be back to bearish sentiment. Especially because it does look like this little move up is already played out. Move up here, break new high, So if we could get a lower high or a double lower high, that would be excellent. NQ popping up here. Wants to continue to the upside. ES also putting in a bullish bar right on that key level. This is a pretty nasty congested area now. Just consolidating right on that key level. If we keep dropping down, again, we will go to that wide downtrend on ES. It's just not confirmed yet. Very clear range here. If we get a major bearish hammer, I could consider short, with this being the top of the range, but it's got to happen right around here. Nice bearish candle. Didn't quite occur high up enough for me. Hey Vaz, good morning to you. Tom, have a great day, man. Wish you the best. Getting some volatility here on the S&P. This is for sure a level of contention. So if we stay above, I mean, again, this is yesterday's high, right? So if we stay above it, it's a pretty bullish sign. It's making another pass at it. On the NQ, uptrend played out, right? We had to move up, break new high. We're looking for a reversal. If we could get a lower high here, that would be great. Now ES is back below that key level. If this holds, man, this could definitely get interesting. ES right on the low of the day. Looks like it wants to make a push below it. We'll see if these sellers are legit or not. We still don't really have a trend to go off though, so we're just waiting for all of this to develop. Right, ES dropping to a new low. This is a pretty bearish sign here, guys. And we will start to entertain that wider downtrend on the S&P. So if we get a pullback and the EMA holds as resistance, we will for sure be looking for the short. NQ still doing NQ things. We don't really have a trend for it. The downtrend we already had previously already played out. So the only thing I guess we have is this minor downtrend right here. So I guess, yeah, we could consider a short on the EMA. We'll see if the EMA provides resistance. May even take it on a test here. Yeah, we'll get in on a test on the notion that this little downtrend will be complete, that it will have a new low. We may even get a push to like an ultimate new low. We'll see though. I don't know that I'm going to add to it just because there's not a super strong bias. It'd probably be more of a little scalp. I'll start trailing when we get to a relative new low. We're almost there. There's a double bottom, so shoot, that could be it. I'll lock in profit just in case that double bottom leads to a correction. Come on, baby, drop down for us. Drop on down. Let's go. Let's go. This man's so close. So close. Just freaking drop already, dude. Alright, we'll take the little scalp there. Very likely to bounce after that. That trend is played out. Very possible this turns into a range. NQ confirming that range structure there, and ES as well, not getting down to the bottom of its channel. So if this is a really legitimate downtrend, we need to see this area filled in here. We need to see some action down there. Ooh, might take this bar actually. Was about to take it if it ended bearish, but we got a bullish close on it. I do like the context here. I'm gonna make an attempt at this. If we get filled. We'll probably get that push down, but not a good risk to reward for me. See if we can get one more lower high. Don't think we're going to see any side really take over. The sellers have had a lot of opportunities to get this thing going to the downside. We may drift lower, but I don't think we're going to have any real strong move. Nevertheless, we do have a downtrend in play right now, and if we get a lower high, I will be taking the short. It looks like we're going to push to a new low before that happens. NQ is popping up. Could have a second entry short here. However, that little downtrend already played out, so I don't know how I feel about it. Oof, really tempting to short here. Really tempting. We'll take one. I'm going to run a tight stop on this though. This S&P just hit a new low, so it might be ready for a pullback. I'm watching that very closely. I'll even move my stop to break even. Yeah, I don't like this, guys. See if it can push back down. I can get out for a minor scratch. $60 lost on that one. I'll never financially recover. Waiting for the pullback on ES. The wide channel still is in play. Again, would prefer to see some of this filled in before getting a pullback, but you know, we'll take what we can get. Thank you for the comment. It says, if there's more than a thumbs up, I will give it to your excellent analysis of the market. Thank you. Appreciate that. Unfortunately, there is only the thumbs up. There's not a double. There's not a triple thumbs up. There's nothing. But I do appreciate anyone who does take the time to drop a comment like that or to just click the button. It does help me out. It does help out support this channel. So thank you so much, guys, for your support. And I think that's going to do it for the stream. I got a couple good trades on the new strategy and still waiting for something clear to develop here. We're, you know, clearly trending down, but not in a very strong, convincing way. So I wouldn't be married to the downside. We could very easily reverse and get a big old uptrend at any point. So be watching for that. Like if we break back above this key level here, this is a very likely possibility. So I'm just watching, letting the market develop, not going to rush into anything and wait for the trades to come to us. So hope it's a good one for you. See you in the Discord if you want to join. Link is below. Have a great day, guys.